Hello, EnderSword here again, this time with a preview of the MLG Raleigh event coming up this weekend, as well as the WCS North America event that will be running at the same time. The first thing that I'm going to look into and talk about is the weird bracket system that evil person Sundance Giovanni came up with. He's the CEO of MLG as well as the leader of Team Rocket, and he basically wanted to confuse and infuriate children, so he came up with a new system that eliminated the old group round-robin type style things and decided to go for a group bracketed system. I actually do like this system a fair bit better. It makes the games a little more meaningful. There were a lot of the round-robin games that just by the end of it didn't really matter. The rankings were already kind of determined. By going with this system, each player in the group is matched up against another player in the group or a member of the open bracket that wins through the winners round to get into the group stage. And from there, it's just a 8-person mini bracket system to determine where you're seated in that group. The point that you get knocked out of that mini bracket kind of determines where you are placed in the championship bracket. So the farther you make it, the farther along that you are going to be, and the earlier that you get knocked out, the more you're going to have to claw your way back against the other people as they get knocked out, as well as the losers bracket, open bracket people, and other winners bracket, open bracket, whatever you would call it, type people. So it is a system that puts a little more drama on the games, so that may be good for the tournament. Getting on to what the groups actually look like, in Group A, we've got Tasia, Illusion, Revival, Ryung, QXC, and Hero. In this one, I kind of got to think that Tasia and Hero have the best chance to go on, or at least make it to that group final, probably with Tasia winning. But it's important to note on this that it's actually Tasia and Hero that have to play the winners from the open bracket. So even though they're kind of the top rank and probably best people in these groups, they're actually probably going to have to play the better players. So they may end up playing, say, a Marine King or someone that makes it all the way through the open bracket and gets to them in the very first round of their own group. So it's a bit of a strange system in that regard, that it could put people at an actual disadvantage given that they have to play a player that's already made it through this huge gauntlet, whereas some of the people in some of the groups may be a little weaker than others. In Group B, we've got Alicia, Sheth, Puma, Gonzi, Binsky, and Alive. In this one, I kind of see Alicia making it through for the top part of that group. The bracket system is actually top person here versus open bracket. Sheth would play Puma, Gonzi would play Binsky, and Alive would play the other open bracket person, and then obviously bracket it onwards. So I see Alicia getting through the top part of that. Puma obviously has a decent chance there as well, but he hasn't been as dominant as he has been in the past, so my money would be on Alicia for that going forward. On the bottom half, that's a situation where I definitely think the open bracket person might pull out ahead of the group there. It's not a weak side of the group, but just not necessarily the same type of dominance, so someone may sneak in and out of there. For Group C, we've kind of got the foreign hope going on. Obviously, Stefano is where everyone's eyes are for a foreign player to kind of make a really strong performance and potentially win this thing. A lot of people are looking for Grubby to also come out with a strong performance in MLG. He's shown some glimmers of that in the past, and they kind of want to see a big breakout out of him. Obviously, I see Stefano just outright winning this group, but I'd love it if I was surprised by a Grubby or an Oz, or obviously another open bracket player making this one interesting, because I don't think Stefano's going to have any problem with the bottom, really with any of these people, to be perfectly honest. In Group D, a little bit lackluster to me. I see Lucira if I had to pick one of these guys, but again, another opportunity for someone kind of coming in out of nowhere and just taking over this group from the open bracket. It all depends on how that lines up, and it's kind of messy to decide who's going where based on the open bracket system. We don't really know where in the bracket everyone is at this point. In terms of who is in that open bracket, there's a few notables I guess, to pay attention to. We've got Liquid Noni there, who has just moved, I believe, to San Francisco. I really think he should get some sort of endorsement deal with the Rice-A-Roni and become Rice-A-Roni Noni or something like that. We got Maximus Black coming up from Halifax, Nova Scotia, my hometown, or not where I live now, but where I was growing up. Nobody you know is certainly nobody that I do know. I don't even know what race this person is. Oh my God, Narwhals is obviously on here just so I could put a picture of a narwhal up. And Icefire 5, I just read the 5th Game of Thrones book, and that reminded me of that. Team EG is bringing all 837 people to the event. They're probably going to run into each other in the brackets a lot. They've got a couple people in the group play all over the place, people in the WCS. They're just going to be all over this tournament. Trimaster, just a guy that caught everyone's attention quite a while ago by running through Idra, making a great run through the open bracket and really getting himself noticed. So just some of plenty of people to look for in this open bracket. Moving on to the WCS North America, we've obviously got Canada versus the US versus Major. Canada obviously has the Scarlet performance that people are looking for. She ran through WCS Canada almost with ease. It looked like she was just predestined to win that basically from round 1. Looked really relaxed, beating people quite easily. And in fact, one of the only people I think to even take a game off of her was Astoji, another young Canadian Zerg that's just been kind of tearing it up. We've got Huck always sitting around. He's been one of the best foreigners, one of the most consistent foreigners, at least in the past. So even though he's been recently, some people would say slumping, still made it to the NASL finals and so on, even though he didn't do so well there. He could always make a rebound and really make a big mess out of this tournament. DDE, just a strong mechanical player, and Tubby the Fat is just a funny name. WCS USA, Vibe was your winner, Daisuke was your runner-up, and we've got a couple other always notables like EG Suppy, EG Idra, and Liquid Noni, of course, just always kind of a fan favorite. From the country Major, we really just got Major, and there's 5 other people there that frankly I've never heard of enough to actually comment on. For anyone in the Toronto area for this weekend, come to our Toronto Barcraft. It's run by Esports Canada. It'll be at Victory Cafe at 581 Markham Street. That's not Markham Road, but Markham Street. That's behind the Honest Eds. It'll be running on Sunday, I believe, between 2 p.m. and 10 p.m., basically until whenever the tournament is over. So definitely check that out. If you're not in the Toronto area, try and find a Barcraft in your own area. They're great to go to. Get out there and support that type of thing. If you are going to a Barcraft, definitely order things, tip your waitresses, tip your waiters, bartenders, whatever it is. The more that we can show that this is a valuable thing for bars to be doing, then the more valuable it's going to be for them, the easier it's going to be for us to throw them. We're going to be able to get that space a lot better, things like that, and really get this sort of thing off the ground. I hope everyone has a great time this weekend, whether you're going to the event, whether you're going to a Barcraft, or you're just watching at home. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.